Hey everybody, this is Derek, aka No One on YouTube. Thank you for clicking on the video. I hope you guys are excited as I am because we're about to get into some more Nightwish. And once again, we've brought back to the channel Mike Caudle of Caudle Brothers Music. Everybody say hi to Mike. Mike, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
So, unless you guys have been living under a rock, you guys know that I introduced Mike to Ghost Love Score by Nightwish. That's going to be in the description if you haven't seen it. And then after that, we did The Greatest Show on Earth. And if you haven't seen that one, that'll be in the description. And that one got like 11,000 views right now. So it was
That
just
was a
kind of
good
like,
one.
yeah, that was a really good one. And so a lot of you in the comment section were saying that he needs to be introduced to The Poet and the Pendulum. And I agree with that. This is another Tuomas masterpiece, as we call him, the metal Mozart. One of the things that most reactors fail to do when they do this specific one is that they don't really get what's happening in the story, you know. So, so I'm just going to give you a little rundown of what this song is about. Okay, so we did talk a little bit about it off camera, but we're just going to talk about it a little bit on camera too, just so that everybody knows that you know, because Nightwish has so much going on. I want you to focus, on the music, the composition, the transitions. I want you to focus on Flora's vocals, also the lyrics, which is why I picked the lyric video on this. So the lyrics are going to be on the screen. But so Nightwish's first singer, Tarja Turunen, she was fired from the band. Now, she was with them for almost 10 years. They grew up together as young kids. They went to school together in the whole nine yards. So they were kind of like family. But there was a lot of tension in the last couple of years that Tarja was in the band. And by this time, Tarja said that she was going to leave the band, but she said that she was going to record another album with them. But when they did this last concert in Finland, which by the way, the full concert is on DVD and it's uploaded on YouTube, called End of an Era. After the concert, they handed her a letter of dismissal and they put it publicly onto the internet. So it's called the open letter and it basically fired her. And it's still on the internet, so it's public knowledge. You can look at the letter later and see exactly what Tuomas wrote to Tarja, but it wasn't very nice. It could have been handled differently, in my opinion. However, needless to say, after Tuomas fired her, he got some major backlash. Major backlash. Everybody came at him. The fans, the media, the press, as far as like in the Finnish press, because Nightwish is a big thing in Finland. And yeah, big thing in Finland. And so because of the backlash, Tuomas went into like a really, really deep depression. And so obviously he's a poet, so he put all of that in this composition. The torment that he was feeling, the deep distress from and as a matter of fact, when the song starts, you're going to hear whispering. And a lot of reactors are like, why is there whispering? Well, the whispering is because it was kind of like what Tuomas was metaphorically hearing, right? Like the whispering in the press, whispering in social media, right? You know how
Yeah,
that goes. You know how that goes. So you're going to hear like, the whispering at the beginning, but that's what's going on. That's what's going to set the beginning of this. And if anybody has a complaint about like that I'm explaining too much, listen, people, you all know that whenever a reactor reacts to this particular song and he doesn't know what's going on, you guys always say, oh, you didn't do his homework. He didn't know what was going on. So I'm explaining the majority of this so he can focus on the music, the vocals, and the composition, the transitions, and the lighting, and just everything. Because you guys know this is a lot. All right, this is a lot. So like, obviously, Tuomas is very poetic. So there's a little section where the boy soprano says, I've been raped again and again and again. Obviously, that's metaphorical. It's not talking about a physical, um,
like a
what's the,
Nirvana metaphor of rape.
yeah, because like I write poetry as well and song lyrics. And so I, like years ago, wrote a poem and it had to do about my lifetime rape as well. And I called it that because it's like, because back then I felt like life was imposed upon me. Like I didn't ask for it. And so it was like a rape. It was like forced on me, something I didn't want. So in a sense, it's kind of like the same way that Tuomas beats it. So anyways, I think that the basis and the gist of all of this is the backlash that he got, and it's going to take you on this journey now. So you ready to
I have a question first.
Okay, sure.
So they knew she was going to leave the band.
Yes.
So he fires her. It's kind of like saying you're putting in your 2 weeks notice, and then your boss gets pissed off and says, "Well, you can't quit. I'm firing you." So he kind of handled it that way.
In a sense, because she said that she was going to stay on for another album and they were going to record another album together. But for whatever reason, I mean, I have my own opinion as to what happened. Although I wasn't a fan at that time, I hadn't discovered that. I haven't discovered them yet. But just from the lyrics of the songs, you can tell that there was a little jealousy probably there on Tuomas's part with Tarja and her. I don't know if she was, if the Marcelo was her husband at the time, or if they were just, if it was her fiance. But needless to say, money was involved, greed was involved, all kinds of things was involved. And you know what? Tuomas just couldn't any further. He couldn't go any further with them.
Okay.
So for him, it was either Nightwish is done or I get rid of her now. So that was his mentality. And I remember this is like 20 something years ago. They were younger. We're all younger and dumber 20 years ago, right? So
Yeah.
so that's basically what happened.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I guess I can form my own little hypothesis once this video is done.
Right. So
Okay.
so because of Copyright and Fair Use Act, every once in a while I'll make some pauses just to, to comment on a few things, or for you to tell me what you are observing, or comment on the instrumentation or the vocals or this or that or whatever. All right, sound good?
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good.
So it's going to start off with a boy soprano. It's not floor, but the operatic part in the middle, obviously it's going to be floor, because she did ask Tuomas if she could sing that part, and Tuomas said yes. But he did want to keep the boy soprano in the beginning. So
Okay.
let's go. Okay, so first two parts, we're about to enter into the third part. So what's your first impression?
I'm looking at the colors that they're using. They're very like cold, empty
Eh,
almost.
Yeah, nice
And then
observation.
and then you mentioned that whole like the whispers, almost like the internal external chattering, almost like schizophrenia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, other than that, it's mostly like the colors that I'm noticing.
Cool. That's why I changed my background to like the changing colors. But yeah, so I mean, again, once again, they're giving me like the drama, the cinematic Hans Zimmer kind of feel, but with the metal.
Yeah, and even in the lyrics themselves, it repeats the same theme over and over. So it's like a very like a torment kind of thing.
Yeah, it's gonna get a little darker in a little bit, but
Okay.
but now this section, I'm just gonna back it up a little tiny bit so that we can get that transition again because it goes from that intensity into now this third part.
Okay.
By the way, I love that lyric. I a whore for the cold war. I can't. Okay, it's interesting. I cannot cry because the shoulder cries more. Now, you always think to yourself, when you cry, you need a shoulder to cry on, right?
Yeah.
So here, Tuomas is basically writing saying, I can't cry because the shoulder that I need to cry on cries more. Very interesting lyrics, right?
Yeah, like there's no catharsis.
Yeah. And then he says, I can't die because I'm a whore for the cold world.
Yeah. Can't get
Very,
enough.
yeah, it's such he has such a way with words when you really delve into like the lyrics and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm afraid, so afraid, being raped again and again and again. I know I will die alone, but loved. You live long enough to hear the sound of guns, long enough to find yourself screaming every night, long enough to see your friends betray you. For years, I've been strapped onto this altar. Now I only have 3 minutes and counting. I just wish the tide would catch me first and give me a death I always longed for.
Ooh. Dramatic, huh?
It was that the third act was very somber, kind of sad, very minor key. And the
Yeah,
very end, it was like a very slight crescendo into that next act, which was maybe the aria of the song. I still got one
yeah.
more act to go, so I don't really know if it's like the big peak of the song.
Yeah, I think no, you got it right. Like especially when you were talking about the minor key, so it's good. Like as a musician that you can like mention that. And I mean, because Floor started off well. The song, in the second act was aggressive, right? So Floor was
Yeah,
using what like when Floor said Christ, right? you
yeah,
know, and then she turns into like a siren again and does that gorgeous, beautiful, like operatic vocals again, and she's just something else. I mean, it doesn't matter what genre you throw at her, she can sing it, whether it's opera, metal, this or that, whatever. But
yeah.
just absolutely so beautiful. But here's the thing. Did you note the part where the boy soprano later in the third act where he said, now I only have, well, he was whispering. He said, now I only have 3 minutes and counting. So from that moment up until the moment when Tuomas went and everything stops and then you hear the heartbeat dying,
Yeah.
that was exactly 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it literally like I mean this is how Tuomas thinks. So as he's writing that, I only have 3 minutes. Like he made sure that musically it was only 3 minutes from that moment up until the time when the when the
So
pendulum. Yeah,
who is the young narrator supposed to be? Because that was kind of just like a soliloquy or a penned note to the audience.
correct. And
Is it a younger him?
um, well, it's definitely him portraying Tuomas, yes, but not
Okay.
necessarily like a young Tuomas, but just narrating it, because there's a lot in other Nightwish songs. Tuomas compares himself to a dead boy. So
Okay.
there's another song that's actually quite one of the most emotional pieces for Tuomas, and it's called Dead Boy's Poem.
Okay.
And it's basically his letter to the world if something was to ever happen to him. Um, so he uses the boy soprano to kind of like symbolize innocence and at the same time um, just to do that like narration, and
Okay.
I do think it has a lot to do with like portraying the innocence, of it. But yeah, it's just interesting when he mentions the 3 minutes and then you get that.
And
And what
then
did you?
there was that second soliloquy that came in and he references him by name. So that's
Yeah.
where I'm like, okay, is it him? Like he's talking about the two faces. So it's like, is this one of the faces talking? Is it, their reference to him in, I think, the first person? So I'm like, okay, so it's viewing him, but letting us know what's going on. So there's like some depth to
Oh,
the narration.
yeah. You know what? I never really noticed that part because, yeah, the first part, um, where he says, I've been raped again and again and again.
Yeah.
So he's narrating like Tuomas, but you're right. The last part, he's doing it in like the third person because he
Yeah, and he's
said,
like, they find him dead with a smile on his face, naked with a
yes,
thousand or basically erased pages.
yeah, yeah.
So
And
I'm
it's
like,
interesting. Yeah. And he says, in the Tuomas in the day of our Lord 2005, because 2005, that's when he fired Tarja, 2005. But yeah, that's interesting. After all these years, even I didn't pick up on that, how, like the way, the difference in the narration, how it's
yeah,
in the
because
third.
there's first person and there's third person.
Yeah,
There's a
very
lot of
interesting.
surface stuff that I'm catching that you told me off screen. And
Right.
then there's a lot of stuff now that I'm like, I wonder what it pertains to, or like it has to be a little deeper.
Yeah.
than
Oh,
catching.
it goes a lot deeper. And listen, everybody, in the comment section, whatever I haven't brought up or whatever, leave it in the comment section. You know that Mike and I are constantly reading it.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so I'm just going to back it up a little tiny bit so that we can get the full transition.
Pen and 1,000 pages of erased text. Thank you.
Oh no. Thank you, Miss Floor. Um, wow. What do you think about that last part?
It was definitely, it wasn't as somber as Act 3, but it was still like a carrying away kind of feel, like it was the end.
Yeah, because it's called Mother and Father, and some of the things that Tuomas wrote were things that his parents actually said to him, when he was going through like this turmoil. So it's kind of
Right.
like a like a comforting part of the song, And I don't know if you noticed, like at the very beginning of the song, it starts out with the end. So that last concert that they did with Tarja when they fired her, when they released it on DVD, it's called End of an Era. So I don't know if you noticed because that was the end, but then when they got to this section after the pendulum, no, wait a minute, after it right before Floor does this part, you're gonna hear the boy soprano whisper very gently. You're gonna hear him say
Yeah, I heard it.
the beginning. So it's interesting how at the beginning it starts off with the end, and then at the end it starts off with the beginning.
Hmm.
So that's very interesting. And I don't know if like you notice it here because they don't play this song live anymore. It takes Tuomas to a very dark place. So that's why you see Marco and Emppu walking up to him at this point in like solidarity. They're there
Okay.
to they're up there to comfort him.
I
So
love their bass player. He looks like Baphomet,
I know, right? He's so
and his
awesome.
bass tone is so great. Like it stuck out definitely in the last video that we did. It was
Yeah.
all I could hear, but like this one, I can hear the guitar a lot more, but definitely the bass
And by the
carried
way,
a
that
lot of the song.
that was my fault about the last one. I really did pick the wrong video because I didn't realize that particular YouTube channel, what's the word, had it so muffled, like the guitar.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't until like that's why like some of them were like, oh yeah, Mike needs to see the Wembley version. So I'm like, oh okay. Um, but man, that last section that when it's just, these three guys are over here and you still see like the waves, with the visual and then with the blue lights because I always say that the blue lights just gives that like,
It's a calming.
yeah, it's calming and it could be interpreted in so many different ways. It could be like cold and like an abyss, like a void, or it could be comforting. Just whichever way that goes. But those, I always call it the wail of the siren when Floor does that. Now, the original singer of this song was the second Nightwish singer, Annette Olson. And I don't want to say anything negative about her, but there's a lot that Floor does in this version that Annette just didn't do or couldn't do because Annette was not a classically trained singer. So Annette could not sing operatically. Annette could not hit certain notes. It is what it is.
Yeah.
With Annette, she's a lovely lady. But with Floor doing this, Floor adds the emotion that Tuomas intended when he wrote the song. So
Yeah.
when Floor gets in front of that microphone and she does those ending notes, it's so you wouldn't even have to know the story, and you just get the sense of loss or distress.
Yeah, and like when you're pointing out the beginning starts with the end, and they say the beginning at the end, the whole thing kind of just feels like a transition.
Yeah,
Like even though it's like a death, there's more to come.
yeah, absolutely. And I think, like I told you, I think it was off camera when I said it, that, Tuomas was inspired by Edgar Allan Poe's The Pit and the Pendulum. So
Yeah.
you saw a lot of the pendulum swinging in the background, and in that one section where it got really intense and you saw the birds flying, I
Yeah.
love that one because whenever there's a storm coming, what do you see in the sky?
Usually the birds departing. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all like in one flock and they're all going in the opposite direction of the storm. So it really even just the visual of the video in the video behind the screen, it adds so much to the performance. So from the music, the
Yeah.
visuals, the vocals, just the lyrics, all of it in one shebang is just really, really incredible. I couldn't even imagine seeing this live. That would
Oh
be
yeah.
that would be
That's
such a
something I've noticed on every video is the crowd. Like there's tens of thousands of people, but they're so in the moment, enamored by what's going on, and yeah, like they're just captivated. They do a really good job at conducting the entirety of the crowd.
yeah, yeah. And like you said, Marco's such a beast. He's not in the band anymore, but we all miss him greatly. We really, really
Yeah,
do.
he's probably one of my more standout members.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And now, Winter Sun's ex-bassist is now the bassist.
Oh yeah.
Jukka Koskinen. So he's the bassist now. But yeah, so let me go ahead and I don't know why I didn't do that. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. Because oh wait a minute. I'll be able to hear you.
I can kind of hear you now.
Okay. Well anyways, thank you, Mike, for hanging out and coming back and delving into some more Nightwish, And so you've seen like the three or what the trilogy, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
This one is usually the second one. So you have Ghost Love Score, Poet and the Pendulum, and then The Greatest Show on Earth. So I kind of like mix them up a little bit, but because you were so new to Nightwish, I figured The Greatest Show on Earth would be better to introduce you to at that time than Poet and the Pendulum because there's Poet and the Pendulum is just more personal to Tuomas and the band than The Greatest Show on Earth. So
Okay.
I kind of wanted you to see like those first two and then see this. But you've also, and by the way, guys, Mike didn't just see Ghost Love Score and The Greatest Show on Earth, but we also did a double reaction, and he saw Yours Is an Empty Hope. So
Yep.
he saw like just like a standard like metal song, and then he saw get out of here. Um, sorry, this my dad texting me again. Hold on a second, I gotta. Um,
Yeah, that one was like an unplugged rendition of just Floor and the other guitar player.
yeah, right, the acoustic. Troy Donockley, yeah, and finger picking, right? So you notice
Oh
that one
yeah,
right
the
away.
finger style.
Yeah. So Mike has had, he's been introduced to different aspects of Nightwish, from the metal to the operatic to the acoustic, and there's actually still more because they have a Celtic side. They do some, um, I'm sure you can imagine cinematic ballads, and there's even some where Marco sings lead. Yeah. And he's got a phenomenal voice because he was in his own band called Tarot.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's also a singer. And so I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Mike should check out one of the songs that Marco sings lead? There's I personally think even though it's a ballad and it's a beautiful song, but I think it showcases Marco's singing. Kiss While Your Lips Are Still Red.
So
Or,
Floor kind of takes the back and he takes the front and center.
yes. And listen, you can't get a better background singer than Floor. You've hit the big time when Floor is your backup singer.
Right.
But what's interesting too is that because I think I mentioned to you that Troy plays the guitar with the ebow.
Yeah.
And in this song, he plays the ebow with the ebow.
Okay.
And it's absolutely beautiful. The tone that it gives the guitar is just absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful song, it's a beautiful performance, and it's from the same show, from the Wembley show here. So it's you're gonna still see a lot of the blue lights and all of that stuff. So it's from the same show. So you guys, I mean, there's another performance too that he does called The Islander, which is more kind of like a like a pirate sea shanty kind of song, and that's really cool too. And Floor's also his backup singer. You know what? We could do a double reaction. What do you guys think? You guys leave it in the comments. Should we do a double Marco? Should we do Kiss While Your Lips Are Still Red and The Islander? I don't know. You let us know. You let us know what we should do. So, anyways, Mike, thank you again for taking the time out and for rocking out with us. And yeah. So we'll just read in the comment section and see what everybody else thinks and what they have to say. And any constructive criticism, awesome. If you're downright rude, it'll be deleted. Anyways, moving on. So thank you, Mike, so much. And thank you guys to everything. And as always, I'm going to have the link to the original video in the description because it's all about supporting the band and the artist. I'm going to have all of Nightwish's socials in the description, so you can go follow them on all their socials. In the description, it's going to be all of my socials as well. And I'm also going to have the Caudle Brothers music in there as well. So please go follow Mike and his band. And then I'm going to have the links to all of the previous reactions that Mike and I did together as collaborations. What else? I think that's pretty much about it. But to help the video get the for YouTube to push it out with the algorithm, you guys make sure that if you have a mobile device and you have access to the hype button, make sure that you hype the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, press the notification bell, then press all so that you'll be notified when I upload something because YouTube's algorithm sucks. Make sure you leave lots of comments because it lets the algorithm know, whoa, there's action on this video, and then it'll push it out. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, guys, but if you guys can help me out in those ways, that'll help both Mike and I, and it'll help our videos to get pushed out. And again, please go subscribe to the Caudle Brothers music. And especially if you like video games and video game music, put to metal.
Yes.
All right. Because Mike is a guitarist. Remember that, guys. So go check his channel out. Go check out his videos. Thank you so much, everybody. And we will see you in the next one.
Later.